Harold Bright was the junior wireless officer on the Titanic during her ill-fated maiden voyage. Along with Jack Phillips, who was the senior wireless officer, his actions helped save hundreds of lives on board the ship. During the voyage, the two operators spent the entire time relaying personal and official messages of Titanic's passengers and crew to the land. Harold and Jack were not employees of the White Star Line, the company that built and operated the Titanic. The Marconi wireless company supplied its own employees to various ships. The wireless equipment broke down the night before Titanic hit the iceberg. The Marconi company strictly advised operators against attempting to repair the equipment, but Bright and Phillips went against the company's instructions and decided to fix the machine by themselves. That decision alone would help save hundreds of lives a day later. They were eventually successful and got the wireless working again. It is difficult to predict the outcome if Titanic didn't have the capability to send SOS signals at the time of the disaster. Bright was sleeping when Titanic hit the iceberg at 11:40 p.m. on 14th April 1912. When he got up, Phillips told him that the Titanic hit something. Captain Smith told the operators to ask for assistance from nearby vessels. Harold and Jack frantically started relaying CQD messages urging ships in the vicinity to come and help save people. Later, the CQD was changed to SOS since that was the new distress call at the time. The messages were picked up by multiple ships, including the Carpathia, who rushed towards the Titanic. Phillips was operating the wireless and Bright was in constant communication with Captain Edward Smith. As the Titanic sank further, it started losing power, which had a direct effect on the range of the wireless communication. In the beginning, they were able to transmit to around 400 miles. As the water levels rose and the lifeboats became scarce, people on board the ship started getting desperate. One of the stokers of the ship barged in the Marconi room and tried to steal Jack's lifebelt. But both Jack and Harold tackled the man and knocked him out. Until the final minutes of the sinking, the operators did not leave their posts and kept sending messages even after the captain relieved them of their duties. Even before the power on the Titanic completely went off, for a brief amount of time the wireless had stopped relaying messages. It was only then that they decided to leave their post. Jack Phillips sent a final distress signal at 2:17 a.m. This was just 3 minutes before the entire ship lost power, split in two parts, and completely sank by 2:20 a.m. By the time they got out of the room, the boat deck was flooding. All the lifeboats of the ship had been lowered by that point. However, the collapsible B was stuck and several men from Titanic's crew were trying to lower it. Harold and Jack went opposite ways, with Harold moving towards the bow and Jack running aft of the ship. That was the last time Harold saw Jack. There was a big wave and the collapsible boat turned over and fell directly on top of Bright. He was inside the boat with the boat being upside down over him. He swam out of it and later found himself pulled by the very boat, but he was injured in the ordeal. He was rescued by the Carpathia later in the morning. Even though he was injured, he assisted Carpathia's wireless operator Harold Cottam to relay messages after the disaster. The two operators became friends after that. In New York, the New York Times published Harold's story, which became a significant record of events. He was paid $1,000 for the interview, an arrangement that caused controversy later. He also served in the First World War. Harold Bright died aged 66 of lung cancer on 29 April 1956 in Glasgow. Thank you for watching. If you found the video interesting, don't forget to hit the like button and consider subscribing to Seanvolution for more Titanic related content.